Thank you for volunteering, Micha. Now, I know we've worked in the past together, but that was some years ago, right? I mean,
It's been a while. Yeah. Wasn't that even pre-pandemic or like early pandemic? Yeah.
It must have been, yeah. So at least 2.5 years ago. So anyway, I don't know what you're bringing today, but you have done tapping before. You've done tapping with me, so you kind of know the basics around that. If you got any questions, just ask me. But let me ask you, what do you want to change? What do you want to work on today?
Something that's been on my mind recently is that I'm still holding myself back from success in my newer business. And one thing I found just a couple of days ago when I journaled was a reason I found was I was very successful with the first business I founded. And so there's a part of me that's like, well, let's just stick with that.
Okay.
Because that worked so well, and you won't do it in another field. You won't do it again in another area. So that a high achiever or something feels like we've done it once, let's stick with it. It might be boring now, but it's okay.
Okay.
That type of thing. I felt like when that came up, that might be a good thing for us to look into.
Okay. All right, let's try a couple there. Let's do them in English. And if we might try them also in German, if that's what we do. All right, so say out loud, I can't be as successful with another business.
I can't be as successful with another business.
0 to 100%. How powerful did that feel?
6.
6 out of 10 or 60 out of 100?
6 out of 10, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 out of 10, okay. Try this one. It wouldn't be fair to be as successful with another business.
It wouldn't be fair for me to be successful with another business. 8.
Well, that's pretty high.
That's high, yeah.
All right. If I'm let me try again. If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I'll be as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed. Yeah, that's high too. I don't know, somewhere 8 or maybe even a little higher than the last one.
Okay, so I'm gonna transfer these. I usually use the 100-point scale.
Oh, okay.
So which is fine. So
then
it wouldn't be fair was 80 out of 100.
Yeah.
And if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed was 80 or 90. You said.
Yeah. So let's do 85 for that one. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do those last two, but try them in German. Okay. Say it wouldn't be fair to be as successful with another business.
Es wäre nicht fair, wenn ich mit einem zweiten Business genauso erfolgreich wäre.
What's the number on that one?
I'd say 70.
Interesting. Okay, so English, the language of business, perhaps higher. Okay, how about this one? If I'm I cannot say this one. If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
Wenn ich mit dem Business genauso erfolgreich bin, dann ist es mir einfach zu viel. That's still high. That's still like 80, 85.
Okay. All right. So I think we'll use English, which would be easier for me. But I wanted to check and make sure, because if the German version of it was more powerful, we would do this differently. So which one do you want to do? It wouldn't be fair to be successful with another business, or if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
It feels like the overwhelmed was a little stronger, so let's go with that.
Okay, let's do that one. All right. Have you had some water?
Yes.
I needed some. All right, let's do this. Even though a really big part of me is warning me.
Even a really big part of me is worried.
That if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
That if I find success with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I'm thankful for that part of me for trying to protect me.
I'm thankful for this part of me trying to protect me.
So even though part of me is warning me.
Even though part of me is warning me.
If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I'll be as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I'm willing to look at that.
I'm willing to look at that.
And see what's true and what's not.
And see what's true and what's not.
So even though I've got some part of me telling me, if I'm successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
Even though I have some part of me that's telling me, if I am as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I'm willing to have a chat with that part of me.
I'm willing to have a chat with that part of me.
To see what is true and what is not.
To see what's true and what's not.
If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
One reason I know that's true is?
One reason I know that's true is because I already work too much.
Yep. So if I'm more successful with this business, there's going to be even more work.
So if I'm as successful with this business, there's even more work.
All right. So Micha, is that true?
Well, yes and no.
Huh?
I would have more engagements, but also I could hire more help.
Sure. Now, you said it, you could hire more help. Would you hire more help?
Yes. Yeah.
So actually, if you are more successful with the new business, excuse me, you would actually work less.
I guess, or not more.
Well, you wouldn't work more. You'd hired somebody.
Yeah.
And it's possible you could work less.
Possibly, yes.
Okay. So if I'm more successful with this business, the first person I would hire would be?
If I'm more successful with this business, the first person I would hire is an OBM, online business manager.
Mm-hmm. And that would take a lot off my plate.
That would take a lot of my plate.
Stuff that you like to do or don't like to do?
Stuff I hate to do.
Ooh. So actually, if I'm more successful with this business,
if I'm more successful with this business,
I'll get to get rid of a bunch of stuff I don't like to do.
I get to get rid of the stuff I don't like to do.
And do the stuff I really like to do.
And only do the stuff I really like to.
And that doesn't sound overwhelming at all.
That doesn't sound overwhelming at all.
That sounds wonderful.
That sounds great.
So if I'm more successful with this business,
I'm
going to have less of the yucky stuff to do.
I have less of the yucky stuff to do, the details.
The details.
Yeah.
Okay, so how'd that feel?
That feels good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what else is there. No, if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
No, if I'll be successful with this business too, I'll be overwhelmed.
And I know that's true because?
I know that's true because I can't let go of the other business.
Ah. And I can't let go of the other business because?
I can't let go of the other business because it's an amazing source of contacts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good income.
Sure. Would you hire somebody else to do some of the things in the other business?
I have. I have. So it's a little better, but we're again understaffed.
Oh.
And it's hard to find next people. I haven't been lucky with that recently.
All right. So I could hire people to take things off my to-do list. Oh, there you go. Let that yawn out. Excellent. I could hire more people in my other business if I can find them.
I could hire more people in my other business if I could find them.
And maybe if I'm making more in the second business, I can afford a higher caliber person.
Yeah. If I make more money in my second business, I need less profit from the first, and I can afford a better person for that. Yeah.
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 So if I'm more successful with my second business, I'm going to be less busy.
So if I'm successful with my second business, I'm less busy.
Yay, let the yawn out. The yawn, or the sneeze. Bless you.
Sorry.
Well, it's either pollen season or somehow that's a release too. But let's take a break and see where we are. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly. Say, if I'm successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed. Oh, good. You know that yawning is releasing energy, letting go of the old stuff. Or sneeze.
Combination yawn, sneeze again.
Whoa.
Okay. If I'm successful with the second business too, I'll be overwhelmed.
What's the number on that?
30, 35.
Okay, 30 or 35 is a whole lot better than 80 or 85. But we have a little time. Let's see if we can't bring it down a little bit further.
Yeah.
Even though part of me is holding on to this belief.
Even though part of me is holding on to this belief.
That if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
That if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I know that part of me has its reasons.
I know that part has its reasons.
So I'm open to finding out what they are.
So I'm open to finding out about it.
So even though part of me is holding on to this fear.
Even though part of me is holding on to that fear.
If I'm more successful with this second business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I'm more successful with the second business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I'm willing to understand what that's all about.
I'm willing to understand what that's all about.
So even though I have this belief, oh, good, let that out first.
Even though I have this belief,
if I'm as successful with this second business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I'm as successful with this second business, I'll be overwhelmed.
I'm okay with that belief.
I'm okay with that belief.
And I will be just fine without it.
And I'll be just fine without it.
Okay. If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
If I be as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
It's really important for me to hold on to that belief because.
It's really important for me to hold on to that belief because I can't be that good at two different things.
Oh, that's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
I decided that when?
I decided that when I was in school and everybody told me I had to decide between languages and sciences.
And I believed him.
And I believed that.
I had to choose languages or science.
I was supposed to choose between language or science.
But now what I believe is.
That I can be excellent in different areas and develop further.
So I don't have to choose one business over the other.
I don't have to choose one business over the other.
I can be good at both.
I can be really good at both.
And I am really good at both.
And I am really good at both.
So I won't be overwhelmed if my second business is really successful too.
I don't have to be overwhelmed if my second business is really successful too.
Because I'm good at that.
Because I'm good at that.
I'm good at that business.
I'm good at that business too.
Just like I'm good at the first one.
Just like I'm good at the first one.
In fact, maybe I'm just good at business.
In fact, maybe I'm just good at business.
So that any field where I have an ability, I can be good at it.
So that any field where I have an ability, I may just do that.
And I'll be good at it.
And I'll be good at it.
Good. Let that yawn out. All right. Anything coming up for you as I'm having you say these things?
that was really a surprise. This one surprised me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So was that a tough time when you're at school and they're saying you've got to choose between languages and science?
It put me really in a very weird spot because I refused to do that and needed an extra curriculum and whatever. And it worked pretty well, but I messed it up in the very end. And then everybody was like, see?
Oh, okay. So you messed it up at the end, perhaps because you had all these people saying, can't do that, can't do that. But anyway, you messed up at the end, but it's different now because?
It's different now because I'm really good at both things and more passionate about the second one anyway right now.
So why not be successful with both?
So why not be successful with both?
The more successful I am with the second business. Oh, bless you. Bless you again. The more successful I am with the second business.
The more successful I am with my second business.
The more support I get for both businesses.
The more support I get for both businesses.
And the more I get to do what I love to do.
The more I get to do what I love to do.
And what I'm really good at.
And what I'm really good at.
This is different from back at the end of school.
This is different from back in school.
And I am different.
And I am different.
So I don't have to have the same thing happen this time.
So I don't have to have the same thing happen this time.
No, I'm good at both of these.
I'm good at both of these.
And I get good people to work for me.
And I get good people to work for me.
And if they're not good, I fire them.
And if they're not good, I'll find other people.
Yes, exactly. So I don't need to be overwhelmed with a second successful business.
So I don't need to be overwhelmed with a second successful business.
So I'm just good at this sort of thing.
It's just good, yeah.
You are good at this sort of thing, aren't you?
Yeah, I deserve it, yes.
You're really good at this second business. You're really good at what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, and I enjoy it a lot too.
Yeah. And you get good feedback.
Yeah.
So why not be good at both?
Exactly. I like that.
Okay. Deep breath in and out again. Should have done this at a different season when the pollen wasn't flying. But let's see where we are.
Just a second.
All right, let's keep the wording the same, even though we've been kind of playing around with it. But say, if I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed. Excellent.
If I'm as successful with this business, I'll be overwhelmed.
What's the number?
No, there's a little remnant left, but it's not strong.
Give me a number.
10, 15.
10 or 15. Okay. So that one came down from 80 or 85. No, actually it was 85 because 80 or 85 was in German. From 85, it has come down to 10 or 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's just a remnant, which, as you know, it might take a little bounce, but it won't go all the way back up to 85. Right. Or it might stay right there at 10 or 15. And either way, it just means there's something more to tap on to release. Yeah. Just something else. But even if you never tapped on it and you just kept it there, 10 or 15, that's not going to get in the way nearly as much.
Right.
Go to grow this second business. Okay.
Right. And remembering a story to go with it, that's also pretty helpful because it's like, yeah, this is a totally different context.
Totally. Yeah. And of course, having started this, releasing this stuff, it might keep going. You might get it all the way down to 0, even without any more tapping. If you want to tap, go ahead and tap on that belief. I can't be as successful with the second business. Right. Let's check the one we didn't work on and see what happened to that one. Say out loud, it wouldn't be fair to be as successful with another business.
It wouldn't be fair to be as successful with another business.
What's the number on that?
50.
Okay. So that one had been 80 or 70. We didn't work directly on it, but it came down along with the other one, just not as far.
Yeah.
My guess is there's still something in there to work on, but it won't be as powerful as it was before.
Right.
Can push past it easier. So
yeah, that's amazing.
How are you feeling, Micha?
I'm feeling good.
Excellent.
Apart from the nose,
Apart from
sneezing.
the allergies, yes.
Rest of me feels good.
Great. Well, let me know how it goes, okay?
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.